Welcome back to Biz Talk with Sherman. I'm your host, Sherman On. Again, if you'd like to be a guest on the show and share your story in a Show Me world, feel free to email me at sherman.on@hgfin.net. Excited to have our next guest on, Your Tech, Your Biz, Roland Parker. Roland, welcome back to the show.
Hey Sherman, great to be back on the show.
Now, I know we've talked a little bit about storage before, but there's this topic that's out there called edge computing. What is that first?
So basically, in simple terms, when you look at edge computing, it's big companies that have now started to take, instead of everything in a central data center in the cloud, they're bringing the central processing power back closer to the source. They're also using the efficiency of mobile devices to increase that efficiency. So for voice recognition, the increase of Internet of Things, all of these things want a quick, very rapid response time. Now, how does that apply to small businesses? Well, small businesses have been migrating a lot of their stuff to the cloud over the past decade. But you've really got to look at what makes the most efficient sense. So, rule of thumb, if 75% of your employees are working from the office, it makes sense to have a server centrally located that all of your data processing power, your storage is there, you're not limited by the internet bandwidth that you are going to do, trying to get all of your employees working from the office, now trying to get their data in the cloud. And then from a privacy point of view, you can be a lot more private, a lot more selective on keeping that in an enclosed environment. However, if you've got employees that are stretched around the state or around the country and no one central location, that would definitely make sense to say, well, let's put everything in the cloud because it can be processed centrally, well, in the cloud. So you've really got to look at, what makes the most sense for your business. Do you want speed? Do you want efficiency? Do you want privacy? And sometimes that means bringing the server in-house. And one of the questions some people have is, well, I've got 3 locations. And we've really got to sit down and look at your environment. And sometimes it makes sense to have 3 different servers for each location. And the data that needs to be shared, you can share it through file synchronization services, Dropbox, OneDrive, Ignite. All of those can take select data and combine it and share it between the 2 or 3 different locations. But you still have a server so that the employees, especially if they're running AutoCAD or doing engineering documents and they're graphic intensive, makes much more sense to have that as close to the user as possible.
Now, does that help the speed of business when you start kind of having a look at if we go all to the cloud or if we have something that's kind of there in-house?
Correct. So if you're in-house, you're going to get the maximum speed. Your users are there, the server's there, everything is being processed far quicker and more secure. As soon as you start going to the cloud, sometimes you can have insecurities because you've got to make sure that it's in an encrypted environment. Now, one big thing that we've seen people do is that they've started storing a lot of documents in Dropbox and OneDrive, and they say to the employees, well, just use all the documents that are there. And they're not treating that as a backup, because if you get hit with ransomware and your stuff is still in one location, say OneDrive or Google Drive or Dropbox, and you get hit with a ransomware attack, that would hit your Dropbox, encrypt all the data that's there, and then go out to all of the people that are synchronizing with Dropbox, and all your data is encrypted and it's gone. You've got to have an independent backup. And sometimes it makes sense to say, okay, let's store it locally on a server and synchronize the things that we do need to have synchronized in the cloud, kind of like in a hybrid situation, and then that server gets backed up individually on another platform. That way you've got reliability, security, and improved efficiency.
I got to imagine this is something that a lot of businesses are looking at as they have employees working from home and employees working in the office.
Yes, and that's been a big thing over the post-COVID era as employees have developed this hybrid situation. How can they remote and be secure? How can you share that data? And if you're just relying on one platform and you're not putting in two-factor authentication, you're not putting security measures in place, you are going to get attacked and your data is going to go down. So you really want to sit with a professional and look at everything and say what's the best, not just for the efficiency of the business, but for security as well.
That's wonderful. I know this is going to create a lot of questions for business owners out there as they're having a look at how are we doing this with our business owner, with our employees in this post-pandemic era. So what's the best way for folks to get in touch with you and your team there, Roland?
The best thing is give us a call, 281-647-9977, or you can reach us on the web at impresscomputers.tech. That's IMPRESS computers.tech, and you can schedule an appointment to meet with me right from the website.
Wonderful. Again, your tech, your biz. Roland Parker, thanks so much for coming on the show.